Yeah, yeah. What they saying? I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental is parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine.
Welcome to the H.G.R.G podcast, episode 26. What's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Salute, salute, salute.
A little under the weather, guys. Forgive me, but I'm here.
There you go.
I'm
Listen,
here to conquer.
Rain, shine.
Appreciate you, brother. That's sacrifice. That's dedication. Lance wouldn't have did that. Lance wouldn't have did that.
Last time I got sick, somebody took my job.
Yeah, nobody taking my job. I'm here. I'm here.
I thought I used my sick days, but I guess not.
One question I got to ask. Lance, you still with us?
Yeah, listen, like always, man. Like always. We're going to make shirts that say that. You still with us?
Copyrighted.
Listen, guys.
We're not going to ask DT. DT got a contract right now.
It's free agency right now, fine.
Oh,
they caught. No, right now it's big right now. My man just.
Yeah, not for you though. We locked you in before the season, so we're good to go.
Yeah, you good.
We don't want no Aaron Rodgers issues.
Unless we trade you, you knocked down, Papa.
I always got an opt-out clause, but go ahead. Hey, man. Episode 26.
Listen, I'm the Tom Brady of this. I can retire, come back again. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? I do what I want.
All right. What was the episode again? Let's go straight into it.
Well, listen, guys, speaking about that, once again, we did a breakdown before of a video too. We got another video for you guys to break down. Unfortunately, once again, this is one of the horror stories that you hear. We try to give you the good, the bad, the ugly, like we always say. And unfortunately, this is an ugly part of it.
This is very ugly. But
this is a learning lesson. We want to go through a lot of things here where this could be avoided, or at least he could have done things better to avoid it, in my opinion. So we're going to watch the video here, and we're going to get right to it, and we'll give you our breakdown of it.
Like, because I asked you to leave because you did not pay your rent. I asked you to leave my house. I wasn't evicting you. I didn't want to even put an eviction on your record. I just asked you to leave my house and you do this shit? Like, because I asked you to leave my house and you wouldn't leave, talking about, Timmy, you gonna have to take me to court? You do all this though? Like, I ain't never did shit to you, never. I gave your bitch ass a place to live when nobody else will give you a place to live. And you tear my shit up. Ain't no scam, bitch, because ain't no insurance on this motherfucker. This is gonna come out my pocket, bitch. You gotta have insurance to pull a scam, dumb bitch. Like, you did this shit to me because I asked you to pay me my money? I work hard every motherfucking day. I go to work and stay the fuck out the way. I don't bother no motherfucking body. I didn't care if you and your nigga was in this bitch selling drugs, doing whatever the fuck you was doing. I didn't give a fuck. I told you, long as you keep my house up and pay me my rent, I wasn't gonna fuck with y'all. Ain't no landlord doing that shit. Because I know y'all gotta feed y'all family like I gotta feed mine, bitch. This what the fuck y'all do to people? I swear to God on my mama, bitch, if I see you, I'm going to prison.
So, fellas, listen. So you see it. You see what happened. I mean, what's your first thoughts when you see that? You walk in there, you see paint on the floor, you see every window busted. I mean, the vanity thrown down from the bathroom. I mean, just just the washer and dryer broken.
I felt like he felt, man, like crying, bro. Crying.
That pain at the end. I'm a family man. Like that emotion.
That hits home, man. That hits home, man.
Yeah.
That reminds me when I used to get mad, like to the point where I would cry, like I want to, you know what I'm saying? I want to break something so bad, you know what I'm saying? Or break somebody so bad that, you know, I would get so mad, like I would tear up. Not tear up because I'm crying because I'm, you know, a crybaby, but, you know, I couldn't release it any other way, you know? So I understand his pain right then and there.
I'm not recording that. I'm not recording that on live, talking about, you ain't gonna have me on the front. No, I can't do that. Can't do that.
All I could think about was Will Smith. Like, why he don't want me, man?
Let's jump off the porch, though, right? So
okay, hit me. Let's go.
You know, why is he even in that position?
He gave a shot to somebody.
Nah.
No.
Yeah.
No, monetary value, right? As a landlord, if something like that happens to your property, right?
Mm-hmm.
What? I mean, you may emotionally feel away, but monetarily, are you stressed out? Are you, I'm gonna lose my whole business? Where are you at with that, and why?
Well, of course. Well, I want to try to take, you know, what he had in you know, the emotion that we saw,
mm-hmm.
and try to channel that and see where he was at. He still works,
mm-hmm.
right? He may have been in a position where he bought a property and he needed to get people in. So he took a shot, like Jerry just said, yeah. Right? So
did he do it right?
He definitely didn't do it right. So, and I'll get there. But my thing is that I think Jerry, you said this before. Everyone thinks because you're the landlord that you're rich.
Mm.
People don't understand that. Maybe if you have one property, two properties, man, you still got a 9 to 5. You're still working.
Right.
You know,
I don't know what you may even said that in, but it was one of our episodes. Check it out.
Definitely.
We just have too many episodes now.
Go back to all of them. Watch all of them. It's there.
I'm being honest. I think I said that.
So
I'll tell you, man. Listen, you take it. Go ahead. One of us said it. Just check out the episode. Tell me who said it.
Exactly. Watch them all. Tell us who did it.
Correct though.
The thing is that, you know, you can have a lot of properties and still be working because you're trying to build an empire. Right? You don't know someone's situation. So my thing is, by going off of what I heard in the video, is that he has an investment property, took a shot, but still has a bunch of bills, has kids, whatever it may be on his side that he still takes care of. Mm-hmm. So it's not like he's benefiting from these properties yet, where he's able to take a loss. Not only take a loss in the fact of somebody just moving out, but now this type of loss where he's got to replace everything.
Can I ask you why he's not benefiting from them properties? He should be, right?
Well, I mean, some people, it depends on how you bought, you know, because because you can still buy right and maybe only putting $300 in your pocket a month. Right. I mean, so is the benefit, you know, great? No, but is it benefiting you? Yeah, of course. Okay. But he may be on his first one where he pockets only $300, $400 a month. Right. You know, which is fair, which is fine.
And which they were in pain. He asked them to leave because they were in paying the rent and they left and did all that to it. So ultimately, he has to pay for the house or all the damages that's happened, and he wasn't getting rent.
Why does he have to pay?
Because he placed the tenant wrong.
There's the biggest issue. So let me play devil's advocate, right? I invest with H.G.R.G, right? I make my first purchase 5, 6, 8 months down the line, a year, 3 years down the line. H.G.R.G sends me a video. That's my property. What's my reality? Is it that? Or am I going to be okay?
You hope it's going to be okay, bro.
No, I'm asking.
We'll paint the picture in his position. No, we got to be no. We got to be specific to this gentleman here. It seems like he doesn't have many properties. If not, this may be his first one. And
he didn't put money aside.
Yeah, you're missing the point, though.
Okay, so go ahead.
So let me explain why I'm saying what I'm saying.
You messed us up
because I'm not trying to stump H.G.R.G on H.G.R.G. So
you did.
The point is that if he had the proper insurance, it wouldn't be
Life and death
an
for him.
expense.
Right.
Even if you got a 9 to 5 that is unbearable, your biggest expense would be whatever your insurance deposit is.
Right.
That whole visual, that whole reality, all the windows gone, paint everywhere, like a destroyed property, your insurance would cover that, and you would simply have to pay your deductible.
Right. Either
So
he
therefore-
he doesn't know that.
No, he don't
or
have
he has
insurance.
he has no insurance.
Yeah, he said it in the video. He
Raw deal.
said it in the video. He has no insurance.
Well, the way he made it seems like he didn't have insurance 100%.
No, he said it.
Oh, did he say it?
He said, "I don't got no insurance."
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So that's literally that's the biggest thing that stuck out in the whole video to me. What I saw, I see. Like, that's not, something that I have never seen before. But in his situation, I understand his pain. But in my brain, I'm like, I know it sucks, it's terrible, but you got insurance, you'll be all right. But then when he said, I got no insurance, now I know why that's genuine and raw affection, like for real. Like,
guys, you got to have insurance on your properties. It's a must. Mm-hmm. It's a must. You got to look at it like your car. You're not going to drive around with your car with no insurance. I mean, if you do, you ride dirty, right? So, I mean, it's the same thing with the property. You're renting dirty.
Yeah.
Man, I might do a shirt for that guy, renting dirty. So, I mean,
you're just making a lot of shirts today.
Yeah. Hey, guys, this is the episode of how we make shirts, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is. What I was going to touch on was, let's say he has insurance, but he doesn't have the right insurance. But he has insurance. So
like that minimal insurance?
That BS insurance, to be honest. Just to cover certain things. So what is a good insurance? Let's get into that real quick. So the listeners, the audience know what are you talking about when you say if you have insurance?
What type of coverage, right?
And second, sorry. Does renters insurance?
Questions. You always got 2-part questions.
No, I always got something for you. If you have renters insurance, does that cover that?
So
hit me with both.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with the second question and go back to the first. Renter's insurance covers the renter. Mm-hmm. So if you're the tenant and something crazy happens to your unit while you're renting it, and it damages your property, meaning like my furniture, my clothes, my appliances, it covers that.
Right. Correct. Mm-hmm.
That has nothing to do with the owner. The owner, what is a proper insurance? That's a loaded question in which I really don't have this is what it is answer. Really, it depends on, your situation. It depends on the property. It depends on, your financial situation, a bunch of different things.
Yeah, so dumb it down. So make it generalized.
Yeah,
You're
so people
for this type of insurance to cover what?
So landlord policies are, is what the insurance is called, landlord policy. A typical landlord policy would cover something like that. When you run into issues with, and by no means of the word, am I an insurance broker or am I well versed on insurance? I'm familiar with it because I do it, but I'm not familiar with it because I'm well versed in, which one's the right one or the wrong one.
You don't know the intricacies of it.
That's a better question for an insurance person that we will have on, our podcast upcoming. But typically, a landlord policy, even the bare minimum landlord policy, would cover something like that. Where you run into problems typically with landlord policies is when you have like fire damage, like total loss fire damage, or if you're in a different market where there's like flood or, natural disasters, hurricanes and tornadoes and stuff like that. Again, another thing,
you're forced to get flood insurance though, for the most part.
If you're in that market, if that's the area that you purchase, right? And then, but some people opt out of it, or some people don't get it. That's it's a gray area. But to answer your question, what's the right insurance is a landlord policy. Now there's levels to it, and whatever level you are at and whatever level you deem your property to be at with your proper, advisor, if you will, within your market, within your property, you'll be able to figure that out. Now there's some people who get the very minimum and they're good with that. There's some people who get like extra coverage on their insurance, and that's where they live in that space. And there's really no right or wrong way if it works for you. I would always advertise for the better insurance to cover you completely, but it's, you know, with all due respect, it takes more money to do that, right? So if I'm like in his situation, to Lance's point, and Jerry as well, you know, my first, it might be his first investment. He's a 9-to-5 or, you know, whatever. The answer is never, ever, ever to not have insurance. Ever, never.
Yes.
I mean, an insurance policy in our market is like, for a renter's insurance policy is like $700 a year. You know, a year for an insurance policy. I'm sure that if he was to watch this video right now and realize that $700 a year cost him his worst nightmare of his life at that point, I'm sure he would have got a 7, but maybe he wasn't educated enough to know that, hey, once you got this property, you got to have insurance, and insurance will cover this if this was to happen.
I feel like, man, I really do. By watching the video, I feel like this may be his first property. You know, maybe Alexander Olive Branch should say his second. It's just things that he says that it's a red flag for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, don't break two rules at the same time, right? If you're not going to go and have insurance, don't vet someone and go, man, nobody will give you a place, but I'm going to give you a place because I'm in need, because I'm trying to rent this out, because I'm trying to make payments and make money.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at the end of the day, it's almost his fault. I don't want to say almost. I believe it is his fault. You're screaming about all the bad things and all the wrong things that were in the situation, and yet you still move forward. How can you say nobody wanted you, but I took a chance on you? I don't care if you sell drugs here, as long as you pay me. You don't want any renter's insurance, but when the police knock in that door and they destroy that property as well, it's on you.
Mm-hmm.
So how could that be the mindset and still not have insurance on it? You know, I mean, how can that even be the mindset? Nobody wants these people, and you go ahead and take them. That's a red flag all in itself. That shows me desperation.
Yeah, I think the biggest part of the video for us, right? How can that video help us in what we're doing is to advocate on how being an investor goes wrong by not having the proper guidance or not knowing,
or the proper tools in place, because it doesn't look like he vetted them.
I know, Jerry. No, because well, where the hell did he come up with this information if he didn't vet them? How do you know nobody else wants them if you didn't vet them?
Because they probably told him, like, look, I know my credit's bad. If you don't know the owner that's you're gonna rent to, you kind of tell them up front, oh, yo, you know, I got bad credit, but you know the reason I have bad credit is because my mother had my kid my car on her name and she stopped paying. Before you even look, this is what happened. But look, I got my job though. I've been in my job for a year. That happens all the time. And if you're desperate, you take it. But they don't know you're not going to do a background check.
Yeah,
because this is your first property. They don't know that.
What do you guys say to that as landlords, seasoned veterans, and your experience with because you guys don't actually do the vetting of tenants, you guys rely on your property management to do it. But what do you say to somebody who says, hey, this is what I did? What would be your advice to them? You know, going to what his example was in his video, right? All the stuff you heard and what he did and why he did it, how he did it. You know, what would your advice be to him? Not moving forward, just period. If you're going to be an investor, you got to be like this.
I mean, he's got to vet. I mean, I don't.
He had to invest in certain tools to save his life. If it's a property manager, because the property manager is going to vet it for you. If you want to go that route, or you buy or invest in the background checks, or it takes,
you can pay for those.
Yeah, it takes $80, $100, whatever it is. You use those tools so you don't step in those in that landmine no more. Or
listen, the police do it nowadays. When you go to get hired for a new job, they do it nowadays. Check social media. You can find out a lot about a person when you check the social media. Everyone likes to record a lot of things nowadays. So why not utilize that? It's free. You got the name. You know where they're
Yeah,
at.
Google them motherfuckers.
I mean, I don't understand why not use social media.
We do that.
Come on.
That's part of our vetting process. The only issue with that is that sometimes their name, their the name that they sign on the contract, it doesn't coincide with their handle on their social media.
Correct. No,
So it's tough for that to be bulletproof, but it's definitely a tool.
I'm not saying it's bulletproof, but it's free proof.
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
So go ahead and utilize it.
Yeah,
utilize it. I mean, you're going to hit. You're not going to miss every time. You're going to hit.
And let me ask you this: so a tenant that not even ask you. Let me reiterate that I'm not going to ask you because it's not your problem because you guys pay for this service. So let me tell you what the service looks like because you pay for it. The reason why you pay for it is so you don't go through stuff like that. Number one. Number two is that you probably wouldn't do that because you would at least vet your tenants and you find the best one you could find and shoot your shot and hope for the best type of thing. But on the other end of the spectrum, when you vet them, and I believe this in life, in every aspect, if a man or a woman shows you who they are, believe them.
Believe them.
If you know beforehand that nobody wants to take a chance on this person, why would you do that? Why?
It's so silly, right?
I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm not.
Why do you want to be the dummy? Respectfully, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna tell you.
Everybody else is smart and says, no. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna be the
priest.
dummy because I believe in you.
You
believe in them.
That I don't want to do.
You believe in them more than they believe in themselves. Nobody else that knows them believes in them. You're gonna be like, you know what? I can't afford to believe in you, but you know what? I'm gonna believe in you anyway. What?
Silly.
Doesn't make sense. There's management teams, there's companies, to Jerry's point, you could pay for a service that will, if you want to manage your own property or control it, you could pay for a service through a management team that will place your tenant, and that's all they do. They just place the tenant, they charge you a fee, put the tenant in place, but they did the vetting, they did their professionalism on that aspect of it. Now you're in charge of everything else, but that'll at least help you. I wouldn't say 100% avoid this headache, but I mean, at least has to dumb it down by 75, 80.
That's a hidden gem right there. But so somebody that wants to be in control of their properties, but don't know how to get, renters and whatnot.
Yeah.
You can pay property management to do that. Right.
And there's also sites that'll do it for you as well. You can actually go to like a website and put the tenant's name, like to Jerry's point, pay $80, $100, put their information in there. They'll tell you whether or not they passed the vetting process. Boom. If they pass it, you do what you do.
That's right.
Very, very, very valuable is that whenever you find that tenant, if you're going to be that person that says, I'm going to do my own vetting and I'm going to rent my own properties or whatever, the most important thing you could do, number one, is make them come to you to sign and fill out whatever paperwork.
See them, put eyes on them.
And are they willing to make the extra effort
to come
get what they want?
Yeah.
It's not really about them coming to you because I'm not going nowhere. You got to come to me. No. It's just, are they going to make the effort to get here to do something that they want? Number one. Number two is obviously you want to check to make sure that everything lines up, right? Where do you work? I work for ABC this. All right. On your application, it should say my employment is ABC that. On their pay stubs, it should say ABC that.
Right. Can you do a VOE as well? Verification of employment. Call them. Hey, listen, I'm with
that's standard. You have to do that. Yeah. And you have to verify their the amount, right? Number one, they're employed. Number two, that what they say they make, they really do make. Okay. Number three, a tenant wants to rent your unit. Your unit is $1,000 a month. How much should your tenant make in order for you to believe that they can afford your unit? Most people don't know what. They don't even think that.
This is another gem.
Right? So your tenant should make at minimum 3 times your rent amount in order for you to consider them as a candidate to live in your unit. If your rent is $1,000, they should minimally bring into their household $3,000.
Right.
Because if they only bring in $2,000 and your rent is $1,000, how successful do you think you're going to be collecting rent on time and the full amount every month?
Right.
They're living on a $2,000 budget.
You're just not to be
Right, it's not gonna happen. So that's number 3. I mean, we can go on day. I mean, there's like 12 or 13 things, but I mean, these are very, very important things. Last,
well, I would say those are the most important things. But go ahead. Here's what the last.
Lastly, once all that passes and it lines up, it seems to be all good, right? And let's say you got maybe 1 or 2 people, could be 4, that you're like, you know what? All these people passed that process. The last thing you can do is whatever address they put on their application that they currently live at, pop up at that property. Go to that property, knock on the door, and just say, hey, I just wanted to verify where you live. When they open the door and when you pull up to that property, you can see, are they running a car mechanic shop out of their driveway? Are there 45 million kids hanging off ceiling fans? Do they live decent? Do they take care of their property? Do they park on the porch? Are there motorcycles in the backyard or not? You know, like whatever their current condition is, they can't hide that. They can't lie to that because they're not expecting it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So now if you pull up to a property and all looks good, you knock on the door. Let's say the kid, a 12-year-old kid answers the door, right? If she says that she's going to live in this apartment by herself, when she comes to the door, say, hey, how you doing? Oh man, hey, the kid just answered the door. Answered, very respectful young man. Is that your baby? Yeah, oh yeah, that's my son. Oh, you didn't have him on your application. I was just wondering, are you going to be by yourself or is there going to be other people? What's going on here? And very minimal, because the importance is not really finding out, being a detective. It's just looking to see how they live. Would I want this tenant in my property?
You're collecting all that data
on one visit.
You know what I'm saying? So really this landlord
invading privacy though?
No.
Knock on the door? Nah.
Not at all. Not at all. You're not asking them to come inside. You didn't say, can I come inside? All you did was say, hey, listen, I just want to come by, verify where you live, and ask you some questions. What are the questions? The questions are, who answered the door? Is that your son? Is that your cousin? Is your nephew? And if there was something that they left out on their application, even more so, if they only filled out for one, they're going to be the only person living there. If they're let's say their employment was $2,900, right? The rent is $1,000 and they only make $2,900. Pop up at that property. Hey, listen, I see you only make $2,900. Typically, we usually use 3 times the rent amount. You're right there. You're right on the line. I just want to know, do you guys have any other additional income that we don't know about? Is there somebody else in the house that has a job that can help you with that? That's it. You
some kind of icebreaker there.
Yeah, figure it out. Figure it out.
For sure.
But I'm gonna be honest with you, that right there is golden.
Yeah,
golden.
It sounds like it. So I guess from our perspective, the landlord just didn't take the right steps. He didn't do anything to protect himself. There was no layer.
He bypassed the red flags for money. That's what he did. There's a bunch of, he said a bunch of red flags, and he said, I still took you. So it was red flags on money, and he picked money, thinking money was coming in,
or family.
Or family. But it looks like he's seen all the red flags. He's seen the nose. And he closed his eyes and say, "You'll walk right in."
How do you guys feel about family, renting to family?
It's hard. It's hard, to be honest. It's hard.
It's tough. It's tough. You got to really go in there. Even if I think you should still vet them the same way you'd vet a stranger, right? Mm-hmm. But just know that it could still go south because it's family, right? It's like going into business with family. Right. It usually doesn't work out.
Yes.
So them missing a month, they're gonna look at you like you should understand. I'm your cousin.
And right. and they look at you just like the person that doesn't know you. You got the bag. Come on, stop. Right. This is come on. This is me. This is me.
What's your advice? I'm an H.G.R.G alumni. I'm an H.G.R.G student. I got my first 4 rental properties. I ventured out, and I have a family member who wants to rent one of my apartments. Lance, Jerry, what do you think? I don't know. I'm not sure. I've done it before.
Good.
respectfully, I would tell you, you may look for another place because I don't have room for you.
Yeah, my stuff's always gonna be occupied.
Yeah, mine's is occupied, man.
Let me give you one even better. My name is Lance. My name is Jerry. I'm sorry. I own a business.
You want to be nice.
No.
I'm
Listen,
a lot of them
Gotta cut ties over here, bro. I want to still be there for Thanksgiving.
I want to move in, kid. I want to chill out with you on a Friday.
I own a business, and in my business, there's rules, regulations, and plans. I don't rent my properties. All my properties are controlled by a property manager. If you're interested in my property, I'm not opposed to that. Contact my property manager, fill out an application. Once you submit all that information, they'll run it by me. If you get it in on time and do what you're supposed to do and you fit the process, I don't mind that.
Then you're not invited to the Thanksgiving after that.
I'm fine. I'll find my own turkey.
Even if you
still
do
want to
it,
go to Thanksgiving, we still want to go to Thanksgiving, bro.
Well, I'm not. So the one thing about real estate that I hope people understand from, not just what we say, but what we embody.
Yeah, I'm joking.
The most important thing is that it's a business.
Well, yeah,
it's a business. It's a business. It's a business.
I still want to go to Thanksgiving though.
With that being said, you're still talking to the same person. I've rented to my family before, and it's worked out well.
Okay.
You know, I've had nightmare, and I haven't, but for the most part, it's worked out well, right? But I did it the same way. You know, listen, and you know, we're talking about family. We're not talking about like third, fourth cousins. Family.
Right. I just think expectations change because you are family. So even if they go through the process and everything goes right, if something goes wrong with them, you're supposed to be understanding. So that business stuff goes out the window.
I kind of changed that though, Lance. My bad. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
It changes when you. So you're right. If they come to pay, like if let's say you're my brother and I'm renting from you, and I pay you rent every month. The month that I'm short, you're supposed to understand that, right? Typically,
in your eyes, yes. I'm supposed to understand.
Typically is how people view it, right?
Yes.
But if you change that analogy, and I'm your brother, you're my brother. I'm renting a house that you own, but Jerry's the property manager, so I don't pay you. I pay Jerry. So when I'm short, Lance doesn't say, "Yo, what's up the rent?" Jerry,
so you put a buffer in between.
Yeah, I feel you. But if you're my brother, if I'm Lance's brother renting it through Dan, I tell Dan I'm gonna call your boss.
That's another angle. Because
you know what?
You know your brother's the boss.
I call the landlord for real.
Yeah.
Yo, bro. I ain't got the $200, bro. What's up, man? Hold me down.
And if it's a real situation, like okay, you know, let's say it's a one-off. Right, a one-off. Oh, you don't got it. Oh, yeah. All right, cool. Listen, I'll be honest with you, bro. I don't really got nothing to do with that. You got to answer to them because it's a process. If you don't got it this month and you communicate with them, they'll work with you. If you don't got it this month and you don't communicate with them,
no Thanksgiving.
They're gonna push that button, and that button leads to
his own turkey.
14 days and all this other. Like it's a process. And I told you this when you rented the property.
I get it. Don't get me wrong because we understand that we live it. Don't get me wrong. But in real life, people take what you say and throw it away when it's family.
Because you allow it.
You can do that.
Because that's the thought process.
Correct. That's what I'm saying.
You know, it's just a thought process. But with that being said, so I don't think that this was family, right? Obviously.
It could be, but we don't know. But yeah. Okay, you don't think it was?
I don't think it's family. You know, right? So I'm gonna go that. I don't think it's family. Okay. You know, because I think in that rant, he would have said, you know, how could family do this to family, or you and my kid? You know, I feel like something like that would have come out.
Possibly,
right? So not saying that I'm not ruling it out completely, but my thoughts are, and from what I'm seeing, I don't think it was family, right? Mm-hmm. So we understand that he did nothing to protect himself.
At all.
Now, let's look on the other side of this. Is criminal charges coming? You know, is there small claims coming? What's coming down the pipe now for the renters that were there? Because now this looks like there's a lot of money in damages where there's paint all over the floors need to be redone, washer, dryer, vanities, windows busted. I mean, just anything they could do.
Windows, not
Doors,
one window.
windows, everything.
Windows.
Every window was broken.
Wow.
So what are we talking about? What's the repercussions now on the other side, Dan?
So you can obviously sue, right? You can obviously try to press for criminal charges, you know, damage of property, personal property, vandalism, so on and so forth. Your issue is, how do you prove it?
I was going to tell you that, but I was going to let you say that.
How do you prove it? How do
what
you
if he
prove?
said? What if he said he left and it happened?
Exactly.
He don't know what me. I didn't do that.
Exactly. I mean, it's in the eyes of the law, bro. It's so crazy. You can have. It's just evident that, like, in other words, you can go to a place. I'm sure we've all been a witness to a situation that ain't right. Like, there's neighborhoods that people have apartments that there's drug dealers at this house, right? You know, this house has been forever. This has been a drug dealer house. You know, it may be across the street from a property you own, around the corner, whatever. The police can say, "Hey, what can I do to make the neighborhood better?" Well, maybe you might want to address the house that everybody knows is this. Oh man, we can't do nothing unless we have a confidential informant or a direct sale. We can't do nothing. All right, cool. I had a situation just recently.
But let's take it before you say that.
Yep.
So you're telling me it's my property.
Mm-hmm.
I know the renters were there.
Mm-hmm.
I know they did this to the property.
Mm-hmm.
They were the last ones in here.
Mm-hmm.
I can't prove it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just asked out.
Yeah.
There's no steps that they could take.
No.
There's no. Well, if I can't prove it criminally, I'm not going to be able to prove it civilly as well.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got to take it on the chin. There's
Right.
no repercussions for this at all.
Nope.
So is that why when he says, when I see you,
Now, mind you, every state is different. So there's some states that it might work. There's other states where, in our market, it's over for you.
Now, if you have a neighbor that says, I witnessed it, I heard everything, I looked out my door.
Different ball game. Now you lit. You good. If you got cameras, any evidence, if you have any evidence, a witness or cameras or something like that, you're good. If you don't,
are you allowed to have cameras and access to cameras that other people are occupying when other people are occupying that property?
inside, no. Outside, yes.
Outside, yeah.
Okay.
Inside invasion
Go
of
to the
privacy.
entrance.
As long as it has something to do with the relevancy of the exterior of your property.
Okay.
Interior, it's obviously an invasion of privacy.
Right.
Unless you sign something like, a waiver that, the tenant allows you to do that for whatever reasons, that's a different story. But typically,
yes, that's hard. That's hard that you're getting
No tenant's going to do that.
some tenants do, because like there's like passages, like you have multi-units and you have like common hallways,
Like stairwells and stuff like that, you're saying? Yeah, that's still the exterior of the of inside their property.
and then there's other
And
situations
they don't own the hallway.
right, and there's other, let me just to nip it in the butt, there are situations where people will sign that waiver. It's very rare, but they do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but my point was to give you a quick exact scenario to this property. Just recently, a tenant was living in it. They owed a lot of money in back rent. They couldn't afford, or they couldn't turn on the not appliances, the RGE, the gas and electric.
The gas and electric.
They
Yeah.
couldn't turn on a gas and electric in their property, right? They stole gas and electric. They illegally wired the meter box and were stealing electric. And then they stole a gas meter from a whole different property and installed it in their house and had gas illegally and electric illegally. The local gas and electric company went to the property and said, this is illegal. We're going to take the meter and lock it. And we're going to shut down that unit from getting electric or gas because they're illegally doing it. They call the owner. Just so you know, the tenant did this. The owner says, okay, I don't want nothing to do with them. Call the police. Let's press charges. I go there. I meet the police there. At the time we're there, there's a wire. After the gas and electric company eliminated it, they did it again. They put another wire and they stole another meter from my house down the street again. So I'm there with the police, with the stolen meter and the wire, which is stealing electric, right in their house at that time. Knock on the door. I'm there with the police. Knock on the door. She doesn't come downstairs. I call her phone. She's upstairs. Police is right there. I hand the police the phone. She tells the police, I didn't have any heat, so I had a friend of mine come over and do what he did. This is God's honest truth. I swear I can't lie to this. Police says, okay, who was it? She's like, I'm not going to tell you. Is he here? No, he's not here. Do you know his number? No, I see him when I see him. Okay, cool. Hangs up the phone. Nothing I can do, sir. You didn't catch him in the act. We don't have any physical evidence. You don't have any video evidence. This is all hearsay. I can't do nothing. I can't arrest nobody. I can't do appearance tickets, nothing. The owner now has to pay. They vacated the whole, it was a double. They vacated the whole property. They cut the power and they cut the gas at the floor and the wire. 2 tenants got to move out. Owner had to pay for the other tenant to live in a hotel. Nightmare.
And what about the property as well?
Vacant. It has to be vacant.
No, not the property itself. The property that was stolen. Who's gonna pay for that? Who's got to foot that bill? Is there any bill there?
Oh no, the meter that was stolen from another property.
Yeah,
it was vacant. So they just took that meter and brought it back over there.
Gotcha.
No charges, no fees, no nothing. Not to us, for all I know.
So next on the H.G.R.G. first 48. Yeah, I feel like this is what this was.
Crazy.
You know, that's unbelievable, and it's just so all the owners.
Let me take all the owners I know. Let me tell you how that nightmare ended up working out. Right. So the tenant, the one tenant, the good tenant, the one that had nothing to do with nothing, goes to a hotel for 2 days. Mm-hmm. Somebody threatens the downstairs tenant's life out of nowhere. Randomly, the downstairs tenant gets a life threat, some type of domestic thing or whatever the case may be. She vacates the property. A day later, we go back. It's official. And she sent the message, I'm leaving the property. Cool. So now we show that to RGE. We get the tenant out the hotel. She moves back into her property. The owner now has possession of his property. And now there's like a $9,000 bill that he has to repair on her property. But 9,000 is a big number. It's a big number. But that 9,000 could have turned into 20 easy. Why is that? Because if the upstairs unit becomes vacant and you got to host that person in the hotel until they find another property that they, rent, you may have to supply the security deposit first month. Like there's a lot that goes into that.
Right. So,
what could have been 20 turned in was 9. And now with that $9,000 bill, you also have a new that apartment that tenant, the terrible tenant was possessing. You now turned into a rent ready property which is ready to be rented now again at $1,200 or whatever the case may be. So that $9,000 was inevitably gonna already be $6,000. So instead of turning into a $20,000 bill, if you really think about it, it was really a $3,000 bill.
And to put this in context, people, this is a rarity, right? This is something that does not happen.
Yeah, it's an anomaly. I've been doing property management for 15 years. First time I ever seen this.
Yeah, that's something that doesn't happen a lot. I mean, it's a hard story, and the reason why it gets brought up is because of the video we just saw. Right. So really, this guy is all the way assed out. I mean, there's between you and Jerry, none of you guys have given me any light for this guy.
There really
is. But what's crazy is it all started with him. It all started with him.
So what we're saying is, if you're gonna be a landlord, we're gonna ask you to do the proper steps to save yourself.
Very
What he did was he didn't save himself.
Mm-hmm.
So if to be honest, if he didn't save himself, Jerry's not saving him. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell him the real, and the real was you didn't do anything to save yourself. You seen the red flags. You close your eyes.
Yeah.
They didn't pay you. You asked them to leave. They left. They did you dirty. They killed the department for you.
Filthy.
Right now, you didn't have no insurance, so you didn't save yourself again. Listen, I'm not gonna save you if you don't want to save yourself.
Yeah, and this is really why we do H.G.R.G, right? And we always preach this. We went through that, or we know that, so that you don't have to go through that. Right. Why you tap in and why you allow us to kind of show you how to avoid that type of nightmare. This is why you invest in H.G.R.G, so that you can avoid that type of nightmare. That would never happen on H.G.R.G watch ever in life.
No, and if it happens, that means you didn't listen at all.
Right.
You didn't listen at all.
Yep.
I mean, you don't even have to listen. We put everything in place. I mean, everything is streamlined. I mean, you have to really be
plug and play. Yeah, you have to literally
be real special.
Yeah, you gotta not want it. You gotta not want it. Yeah,
you gotta be really special for you to mess up on this.
Because first things first, you're not gonna close on a property with H.G.R.G being your mentors and your coaches without insurance being in place prior to closing.
That's right. That's right. Our people give.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't care what your financial situation is. There's no situation you can create for me as an H.G.R.G student that you're gonna tell me I bought the house, but I don't got insurance. You wouldn't have bought the house.
Right. Because I tell you what, because like Jerry just said, you didn't help yourself in any way. So if he would have had insurance, he'd have walked to that property upset, mad.
Yeah.
But not like all is lost. It felt like his energy.
Yeah, you'd have been torn.
Right. But it felt like all was lost with his energy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like this is it for me. Like the tears started running from him, or running through him when he was like,
that's wrong.
You got a family. Yeah. I got a family to take care of. I work hard, like that there.
So give me an average of what he's gonna pay.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Man.
DT, rub your alley, man. Especially what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, I don't even gotta go there. That's it. Literally, I don't know his contractors. I don't know what they charge. You talking about like in 2022?
Yeah, give us a guesstimate
with
sure.
The pricing changes and all that.
Floors, washer, dryer,
bro. Yeah,
windows.
That's a $20,000 job right there.
That's why he's crying, Lance. That's why he's crying. That's 20,000, brother.
I'm crying with him, man. I felt the pain.
Yeah, you're probably $300. You're probably $300 each window. A full paint job. I don't know the square footage, but full paint job in that apartment, you're probably $2,500. Cabinets, vanities. Your cabinets can go for $3, $4, $5,000 to install them. Listen, kitchens on an average for a decent apartment or decent property is $10 to $15,000. Bathrooms on average for a decent, property, $5 to $10,000. Take the low ends of both of those. You're at $15,000 on the low end, just on the kitchen and bathroom. Floors throughout, that can easily supersede $5, $6, $8, $10,000. I don't know the quality of flooring. I don't know the subflooring. There's a lot that goes into it, but I think 20,000 is a real number on that property right there. Like easy 20,000.
Here's how you cut that 20,000 down. The best advice I could give you is with your hands, man. You sweat equity with you doing what you can. Yeah. I mean, you may not be able to install windows. You have to take that, but you better go on YouTube. You know
what though? I'm gonna be honest, Lance. That's even not even a thought I had, but that's great advice. Like,
well, that's why I'm here.
If he sent that video to us, we know we can't help him.
Yeah, right? I'm telling you, if you didn't help yourself, I can't help you.
Yeah, we know we can't help him. So our advice would be, well, let me say Lance's advice, which would be our advice, would be, hey, bro, You got to throw your you got to get your tools up. You got to YouTube University is gonna be your best friend.
Monday to Friday.
You got to learn.
Sunday's book.
You got to learn how to install windows. You got to learn how to install kitchen cabinets. You got to learn how to do this. You got to learn how to do that. Like that's gonna be your only savior for yourself. Like that's
how do I do flooring?
That's a great point. That's a great point, Lance. Great point. Because I mean, I don't know if I throw in the towel. I don't know if he can even afford to throw in the towel. You know what I mean? He might be underwater, but that's a great point.
It wasn't that enough for me to throw the towel.
That's you though.
Yeah, but it's the mindset. You got to take his. I don't want to lose his emotion.
I just don't want to. But
bro, he was ready to tie himself up with his shoelaces.
From his emotion, I think he was more mad and more upset that he has to fix everything. I don't think he was throwing the towel away.
The way it's the things he mentioned when we listen, right? Then you say you listen to everything. Derry, I know you don't forget anything. You don't mention your 9 to 5 and you having to take care of bills on your side, and you know, and I did this because you had a fair. All this stuff is monetary that he's speaking about. Taking care of his family. He has a 9 to 5, you know, and he goes to work and busts his ass, you know, that all that he's thinking in his mind subconsciously is money. That's what he's thinking. I mean, there's nothing around. He didn't come in here calm, cool, and collected and go, you know what, my insurance is going to cover this, but when I find you, I'm going to bust your ass. You know, that wasn't his energy. His energy is like, what am I going to do?
I might be wrong, but
if it's opposite what I'm saying, you're definitely wrong.
From what I'm looking at, when I was looking at it, it looks like he's on the top floor.
Yes.
So it's a multi-family. So possibly. He is getting, you know what I'm saying? He is getting money. He's not gonna go broke because he has a second floor for him. I'm only going from what I'm seeing. I don't know he owns all that.
Yeah, it's all speculation.
Yeah, correct. So I'm going with he at least has the mortgage downstairs. And that's paying for the mortgage. Yeah, and now he could work on fixing upstairs. He's not going to make money, but he has a fighting chance to get back to square one. Yeah. That's my thought.
You better cash in all favors. You know, you got a friend that does construction, that does floors. Cash in all those favors right now. Yeah. Get you back on your feet.
That's why I say in the beginning of the video, where did he go wrong? And I went to the insurance thing, right? Because you know, there's always light at the end of the tunnel.
Right.
You know, if you're a hustler, you're going to hustle no matter what, right? There's not going to be that type of situation that's going to kill your hustle. No matter what, even if that happens, you're going to figure out a way to make it right. You know, in this market, like right now, today, if that would have happened to an investor that we work with, right? You know, my first response would be insurance. My second response would be, hey, there's a program that they got right now.
Yeah, that's because you see the vision.
You know what I'm saying? That's why
programs. You're a tool, brother. Yeah. You're a tool. If they don't have you in place or a property manager in place, they don't know about that program.
But that's the value that H.G.R.G brings to anybody who taps in. 1,000%. That's the value. That's why, you know, and Lord willing, I hope that we're you know, presenting that, exemplifying that in our episodes and our content, is that, you know, we bring a wealth of knowledge, of experience to avoid things like this. Part of the reason why we're showing videos like this, you know, these are nightmare. I mean, we could tell you nightmare stories all day long, but sometimes it's good to see some visual from other people. You know what I'm saying? Like
we can talk about it, but we don't record it. People record it, and we kind of break that down because that happens to us.
And to be honest,
that happened to us, right? To be honest,
we weren't visionaries to realize that when we were going through those things, that we were going to film podcasts and episodes. Because if we did, that would have been the best content ever.
Do you believe, guys, when we're going through that, we go, wait, let's record? No, we're not doing that. Right. We're like, F this and F that.
Right. When somebody, you know, when a contract, forget about a tenant. When a contractor is building stairs with dresser drawers.
I have pictures of that though. I should show these people that.
You should put that on TikTok or something. But you know, with that said, let me extend another olive branch here. You know, you may take it into your own hands and maybe get a personal loan, like a loan from yourself with your credit and whatnot, maybe a $10,000 or $15,000 loan, a home improvement loan, through your bank in your situation to go and help your property. Listen, there's ways, man. There's ways.
Bring on a partner.
Bring on a partner. I mean, there's just ways.
Bring on a partner.
Family, friends.
All things you probably won't know by yourself. You need seasoned investors, seasoned people. HGR, you need H.G.R.G is what you need. Because
somebody like
in our, there is nobody like us. In our in the way we operate, like there's really not a lot of, I don't know, a situation that we won't be able to work ourselves out of. Even the situation you can't, there's not really a normal, like a digestible exit strategy. We will present one for you.
Yeah, there's always a way.
It may come with a little bit of loss, but at least it's an exit. Bro, we got a student right now that went through this same situation with no insurance, right? Came to us with no insurance on 2 properties.
Yep.
First advice, get insurance. He got it. Second advice, we went to the property that he had. Bro, this ain't worth your while. Sell it. It's gonna be worth $5,000, $7,000. He goes and lists it. The realtor says it's worth 20. So even our exit strategy made him money.
Yep.
More than we even thought. You know what I'm saying? But that's because
you got a tenant. You got a tenant in there. Oh, great. Where's the contract? Oh, we don't have a contract. Oh, you don't? We can get right to it. We can get right to it. No problem. We can get right to it.
Yep. So what's the value? The value is us. The value is H.G.R.G. The value is our information, our knowledge, our team, our plug and play system, the people we deal with, the experiences that we've been through. We went through them so that you don't have to go through them. That's the value. That's what we show. That's why we show this video, because that would never be somebody who we have the opportunity to touch. You know what I mean? That we have the opportunity. Yeah.
And not saying that the tenant wouldn't do some crazy stuff like that, but we're saying that they wouldn't be running through the property feeling like there's no outlets.
Great point.
Like it's all lost, because they're protected.
That's the key word, Lance. We protect you. We make sure everything's in line so you could get everything you need.
How do we protect them?
But we walk as a plug and play. We make sure everything is dotted and the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, so you could get there.
In one word,
don't fail.
In one word, we protect you with the team.
With the team, that's right.
Simple as that.
Absolutely.
Simple as that.
No, go ahead.
That's it. I was just gonna say simple as that, and that's really what it's about.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, we had to break down this video, and it's unfortunate for this gentleman here, and we wish the best for him.
But if he wants to reach out to us, I mean, HGRG.club, we're accessible.
That's right. And like I said, it's unfortunate he had to go through this. Our prayers go out to him. Best of luck to him, and hopefully, he comes to a resolution that benefits him and finds an exit plan or strategy that gets him back to square one, back on his feet. But, this type of stuff happens, but your team is most important, guys. DT really brought it home with the team and what we offer. Jerry told you that we're here for protection, and all that stands true. It's just the reality of it, because we've all been through it. We've all been the best investors, multi-millionaires, tycoons. I mean, all these guys have been through it.
All the people you watch on TV, podcasts, and stuff. They all got horror stories. I bet you
one thing they don't tell you is not to get insurance. I'll tell you that.
That's a fact. That's so true. That's so true.
And at the end of the day, guys, that's another breakdown. That's our perspective on that. And we want to bring you guys a lot more things like that. We kind of like breaking down these videos. It's a dope way to give you guys information at the same time, keep you entertained. And, we're going to keep coming at you guys. And we love the H.G.R.G family. And stay with us for the next episode, guys. Appreciate it.
Salute.
Yeah. What they say? I'm so divine. Imperfection, perfection, my presence shines. My mental's parasailing maritime. They say I'm destined to read the palm line. Yeah, I'm so divine, I'm so divine.